Alright, Chiqui. Ang bisita natin this afternoon, taga Cavite ulit, ano? Dasmariñas City, no? Isa siyang re-electionist sa pagka-congressman dyan sa 4th District ng Cavite.
Oh, exciting to partner Jay tsaka mga kapatid dahil alam nyo, well, for some of you, you might know, no, na yung kanyang asawa, si Mayor Jenny ng Dasmariñas ay re-electionist rin. So, interesting to find out kung ano yung dynamics nila. Well, maybe let's not get too personal, pero siguro sa political side, di ba? Kung ano yung magiging dynamics ng mga ito.
At naging laman din siya recently ng news, di ba? Kasi recently nag-file siya ng resolution,
right,
no? Para imbestigahan yung sinasabing hacking na nangyari dyan sa COMELEC. Pero ito,
yung automated election yes.
Kausapin na natin. In the run-up to the 2022 elections, we go local.
We look into the politics in your province, city, and barangay and talk to the leaders who have a direct hand in shaping your lives. I'm Chiqui Vergel.
And I'm Jay Taruc. As they say, all politics is local.
The university capital of Cavite. That's what the city of Dasmariñas is known for. That's one of the reasons why some observers can't help but raise a brow when Dasmariñas Cavite Congressman Elpidio Pidi Barzaga cited the famous search engine as his source when he voted against the franchise of ABS-CBN in 2020. A veteran politician, Pidi has served as mayor of Dasmariñas City for 2 separate terms. He has also succeeded in getting his family involved in Dasma politics. At the moment, Pidi chairs the House Committee on Natural Resources and concurrently the president of the National Unity Party. Now, he's aiming to represent his city once more in Congress, but an independent candidate is challenging his re-election. Will Pidi Barzaga succeed in getting the votes of his people once more?
Tonight, we welcome Elpidio Barzaga Jr., Cavite Representative of the Lone District of Dasmariñas and seeking for re-election. Good day, sir. Welcome to the show.
Good day also.
Diretso na kaagad. Oh, partner Chiqui.
Sige, diretso na tayo, Jay. Ito no, actually, let's get straight to business. Itong recently you filed a resolution, tama po ba if I'm not mistaken? Or there was a recently filed resolution last January 12, so just a few days ago, na ang layunin nito ay yung election body kailangan i-examine daw yung automated election process. What are your where do you stand in this, sir?
Well, the resolution was actually filed because of the alarming reports coming from the Manila Bulletin that that they were able to hack the servers or the data of the COMELEC. Alam nyo naman, ang lagi ko sinasabi, the bedrock of our democracy will be elections. And therefore, the basic rule is that the election must be honest, it must be credible, it must reflect the true will of the people. Kung magkakaroon ng hacking, mawawala ng tiwala ang ating mga kababayan sa halalan, which is the very foundation of a democratic government. And that's the reason why I filed the resolution calling for an investigation.
Which is,
ahead,
I think kinakailangan na panatilihin nating sagrado at credible yung magiging resulta ng ating election. Especially crucial po itong 2022. Okay, pero magbabacktrack muna ako, Kong. Kasi alam ko, pumasok kayo ng politika 1998, ano? And kayo po ay naging mayor ng Dasmariñas City, no? Ang Dasmariñas ay medyo progresibo at maunlad na rin po ngayon, di ba? Kayo ho ba may mga balak pang i-pursue, no? Bakit ho kayo nagsisik ng re-election? Ano ho ba plano natin? Bakit po tayo gustong bumalik sa Kongreso?
Well, unang-una, Jay, sa mga nakakaalam na taga Dasmariñas, alam nila hindi naging madali ang pagpasok ko sa politika. I started running for mayor way back in 1980, and it was only in 1998, after 18 years, on my 5th attempt, that I won an elective office in our city. At pangalawa, Minsan, nagsasabi na yung iba na medyo matagal na kami sa politika. I was elected way back in 1998. We have been in power for the last 23 years. Ang lagi ko namang sinasabi, hindi natatapos ang aming programa sa lungsod ng Dasmariñas. And that is the reason why I still want to continue my service. Pag dumating naman ang pagkakataon na nararamdaman ko at nakikita ko sa survey, pati na sa attitude ng aking mga kababayan na hindi na nila ako gusto, perhaps that would be the time that I have to retire from politics. Ayaw kong marinig sa aking mga kababayan, kung Pidi, suportado ka pa namin, bakit bigla mo kaming iniwan dito sa lungsod ng Dasmariñas?
Kung nung nanalo ho kayo nung 1998, under Liberal Party ho kayo nung 1998, ano?
Well, nung manalo ko nung 1998, I was under the lakas
Lakas.
of President Fidel Ramos, who was the incumbent president at the time.
Okay. And fast forward po, partner Chiqui, if you don't mind, no? Kayo
Yes,
po
go
ang kasalukuyang pangulo, no? Tama. Kayo ang kasalukuyang pangulo ng National Union Party. Paano ho ba nangyari ito?
Well, actually, it is the National Unity Party. 2010, when President Aquino became the president, we decided to form our own national political party. And that was the National Unity Party. I was an original member of NUP from 2010 up to the present. In spite of the invitations coming from other political parties, like the Liberal Party and the PDP Laban, I never abandoned my political party, the National Unity Party. And therefore, from 2010 up to the present, I am a member of the National Unity Party, and I was given the privilege to be its president at present.
Kung sa politiko pa rin, pero balik ako ng konti dun sa automated election process. Ang sinabi kasi ni Commissioner Guanzon ay hindi naman daw na-hack. So, ano ba, hindi ba to something that we should believe na hindi na? Kasi kanina you just mentioned na na-hack nga daw po ang system natin sa automated election.
I was a practicing lawyer for a period of 22 years. There are always two sides when it comes to a controversy. Of course, insofar as the Manila Bulletin people are concerned, they would be saying that there was hacking. On the other hand, the COMELEC will be saying that there was no hacking. And therefore, we have to determine who was the party who is telling the truth. And we can determine only the truth if we conduct an investigation because of the importance of the duty and the purpose why we have the COMELEC and why we have to conduct an election. Hindi naman pwedeng sabihin ng ating mga kababayan, kayong mga senador at mga congressman, wala kayong ginagawa, may report na hacking. You will just rely on the face value of the statements made by the COMELEC. That would not be acceptable to ordinary people and even to some candidates. Kaya kinakailangan magkaroon ng resolution para maimbestigahan natin. Of course, Commissioner Guanzon, I know her personally. She's very straightforward and we have to find out. Pangalawa, I have been a congressman as early as 2007 and I know that insofar as reports coming from the media are concerned, we do not have the right to ask where the report came from because you have that privilege and power. However, in this particular case, this would be a little bit unique or different because if there was hacking, perhaps there might be some violation of the data privacy law. Kasi nahack nila yung data coming from the COMELEC sensitive and which should not be shared to the public. Kaya medyo malalim ang gagawin nating investigasyon dito. And even Senator Amy Marcos, who happens to be my co-chair, representing the Senate in the Joint Congressional Committee on Automated Election, she also wants to conduct an inquiry insofar as the hacking report is concerned.
Okay, so elections pa rin, partner Jay tsaka Kong, no? Kasi ang sa pagkaalam namin, ang asawa po ninyo ay running for re-election. Tama po ba? Dasma Mayor.
Yes.
Mayor Jenny po. Ano po yung dynamics nyo lalo na ngayon? Kasi, well, fast approaching na yung campaign period. Pangangampanya kayo parehas po.
Unang-una, when I was to end my term in 2007, siyempre, pinag-aaralan ko rin naman kung sino ang successor ko na gusto ng aking mga kababayan. And therefore, I conducted a survey putting several candidates and several names, several prospective candidates. At isinama ko ang Mrs. ko, si Jenny Barzaga. And lumabas sa survey, 60% of the people survey are of the opinion at the time that it would be better for my wife to succeed as mayor. At siyempre, itatanong ko naman, bakit nyo gustong ang asawa ko ang maging mayor? So that there will be continuity insofar as your programs of government are concerned. Kasi tuwing halalan, nagpapasurvey naman ako eh. I do it scientifically. We are asking the problems, we are asking how is the response of our people regarding the performance of the local government, especially during this time of pandemic.
You're running for re-election. Ano po? And what will be your priorities pagka itong pagpasok nyo ngayong 2022 kung papalarin po kayo?
Well, of course, number one, I have seen the problem pertaining to election. I have seen the attitude of our voters. They are not well versed regarding the importance of the election. And perhaps the first bill which I will file will be to make it mandatory in college, at least to have a 3-unit subject insofar as election is concerned, so that we can educate our voters not to sell their votes, determine the capacity, determine the track record of every candidate. Kasi ang basic naman lagi dito the people get the public officials which they deserve. And that is based on the basic rule that the people are the one electing them. Kailangan pag-aralan na ng ating mga kabataan kung ano ang pagboto, kung ano ang pipiliin natin. At nang sa ganon, we can have the best candidates win. Hindi pwede yung popularity na lamang, hindi ba? O kaya name recall, which is happening right now, especially in the national level.
Okay. Voter education partner, no? But
that's very important.
Kong, partner, we need to pause for a break. We'll just pause for a short break. When we return, we talk about Cavite. You're still watching All Politics is Local. We'll be right back.
This January on DreamWorks, George and Harold are back to cause complete mayhem in all new episodes of the epic tales of Captain Underpants. And here for all new adventures of their own. And with their new friend, Richie Rich, we're back on Harvey Street for Harvey Girls Forever. This January on DreamWorks, Channel 79 at 221.
Load your prepaid account now or scan the QR code to know our convenient loading options.
Welcome back. You're still watching All Politics is Local. With us, Cavite 4th District Representative and Reelectionist Elpidio Barzaga Jr. Yan yung mga Caviteño dyan, for sure, kilalang-kilala ito. Kong, itong Cavite, no, University Capital of Cavite daw. Tama po ba? Ang Dasmariñas.
Well, of course, we have several universities and colleges in the city of Dasmariñas. We have the De La Salle University, including the Health Science Campus. Meron kami rito Technological University of the Philippines. We have also Philippine Christian University. We also have National Science and Technology College. And of course, we just opened last semester the Public College of the City of Dasmariñas, Koleyo ng lungsod ng Dasmariñas.
O ayan, may patikim kayo sa mga paaralan dun sa Dasmariñas, mga kapatid, dun sa mga hindi familiar, no? So ngayon kasi it's a big issue itong health break, academic health break sa mga eskwelahan. Gusto po sana naming malaman, well, it can be specific to those schools or in general, no? Kung ano yung mga preparations na ginagawa ng LGU for this pagdating dun sa face-to-face classes na, yung pending face-to-face classes na baka mangyari na nga po.
Well, of course, when it comes to face-to-face classes, as a rule, alam nyo naman yung elementary, including high school, they are under the jurisdiction of the Department of Education. And insofar as colleges are concerned, they are under the jurisdiction of the Committee on Higher Education, otherwise known as CHED. The local government plays only a suppletory character, meaning to say, alam namin ang mga problema sa public elementary, sa public high school, tumutulong na lamang kami when it comes to the needs of our public elementary and our public high school students. Kung kinakailangan, magkaroon kami ng mass testing, ginagawa namin. We have our own molecular laboratory. Kung kinakailangan, magkaroon kami na i-isolate ang mga bata. Meron naman kaming maliit na isolation center which can accommodate 176 persons. And we are always ready for this because the pandemic started as early as March 2021. Kabisado na namin ang contact tracing plus the RT-PCR antigen including the isolation. Whether it would be at home or in our isolation system. Pag sa bahay naman mag-isolate or home quarantine, naglalagay ang local government ng sticker. This house is under gradual lockdown. From January 1st, start up to January 11. Nakalagay yun doon sa kanilang bahay. And the barangay officials are monitoring na dapat walang lalabas dyan sa bahay na yan. Pagkatapos, binibigyan din ng tulong ng city government in the form of goods and rice and sometimes financial assistance.
Kung sa Dasmariñas City alone, mahigit 700,000 na po ang ating mga residente, no? Napakarami po niya, no? And January 31 to Feb 5, tama ho ba? Mukhang, January 17 to 29, mukhang scheduled po na ipatupad. 16 to 31, mukhang ipatutupad ng Alert Level 3. Tama ho ba? Matutuloy ho ba yan?
Well, I think we are already in Alert Level 3 right now.
Right now, oo. And kamusta po ang sitwasyon dyan pagdating sa bagong variant na Omicron?
Well, katulad ng nararanasan sa Metro Manila, at sa ibang karatig lugar ng Metro Manila and other parts of the Philippines, dumarami ang COVID positive because of Omicron variant. Pati ako, naging positive na ako sa Omicron variant. But I was able to recover immediately at nakikita naman ng aking mga kababayan, I'm doing what I have been doing even before the COVID became an issue in our city and in our country.
Partner, i-follow up ko lang, Kung
Yes, please.
bilang congressman ho, ano yung mga proyekto na isagawa na natin dyan sa Dasmariñas?
Well, of course, number one, when I was first elected way back in 2007, Cavite has only 3 congressional districts. And my district, the 2nd district of Cavite, was the largest congressional district at the time. Kasi ang kasama ko noon, Imus, Dasmariñas, Carmona, GMA, Tansa, General Trias, and Trece. And therefore, the first order of the day was to convene all the congressmen in Cavite na sabi namin, sobrang na ang laki ng ating mga teritoryo. It's about time that we have to divide. And we were able to create additional 4 districts, naging 7 districts. And Dasmariñas at that time happens only to be a municipality. Unfortunately, the Dasmariñas, although a municipality, has the problems of a city. Marami kaming mga constituents, maraming naninirahan sa Dasma, maraming mga problema ang traffic, problema ang basura, and therefore these are the problems in a city which are found in a municipality. Kaya kako yung resources ng bayan ng Dasmariñas very insignificant to the needs. And therefore, we cannot deliver the basic services. And because of that, I was able to convert Dasmariñas from a municipality into a city way back in 2009.
Sakto na pag-usapan natin yung basic necessities kasi naalala ko last time na kasama ko dito si partner Jay no, dito sa All Politics is Local ay kausap namin si Kong Boying Remulla at na-bring up nga niya dito sa programa na may problema daw sa electricity, may problema sa water. Ang sinasabi niya, the most, I guess, developed cities ay walang problema sa mga ganitong basic necessities. So given these problems, first of all, do you agree na ganito talaga malaking problema sa basic necessities? And second po is, paano po natin plano i-address moving forward po?
Well, number one, insofar as electricity is concerned, we do not have any problem. The problem of the poorest of the poor who cannot pay their electrical bill monthly, which is happening all over the Philippines. Sa water, gawa ng kami ay dati nasa Dasmariñas Water District, hindi masyadong nakagawa ng sapat na mga sources of water, kaya napalipat sa prime water, unti-unti naman na-address ang problema ng water. Pero ang pinaka-basic will be number one, when it comes to health. Marami sa aking mga kababayan walang kapasidad na magpagamot. And the first order of the day, when we became a city, nag-ipon kami at naggawa kami ng isang public hospital funded by the city and being maintained by the city using city funds. Pagkatapos basic education, pag mag-enrollment na, lalapit sa akin, okay, Mayor, hihingi ng, hindi naman hihingi, mag-a-apply ng scholarship. Pero sa dami ng nag-a-apply, hindi makayanan ng pondo ng city, kaya naisipan namin, magtayo na kami ng isang public college. And we were able to succeed. First year of operation ngayon, we have 3 courses, and hopefully, by the first semester next year, magkakaroon na kami ng 5 courses. Paglibingan, problema rin. Kaya ang ginawa namin, we have a public cemetery. Pagkatapos, on account of the COVID, meron na rin kaming crematorium at meron din na kaming columbarium at libre ito sa mga taga-Dasmariñas. And these are some of our basic services. When it comes to sports naman, nakapagpagawa kami ng arena to be finished by April this year with 5,000 seating capacity. Nakapagpagawa na rin kami ng track and field oval with football field, international standard, and boxing gym. And all of this funding came from the funds of the city through savings. And I can truly say na medyo mahigpit kami sa paggastos ng pondo since we were elected in 1998. In spite of all these projects, we do not have any single loan. The city is very solvent. Kahit ngayong panahon ng pandemic, nagkakaroon kami ng excess. And because of the pandemic problem, nagkaroon na rin kami ng isolation facility, sarili, at nagkaroon na rin kami ng sariling molecular laboratory.
Okay. Dami, partner, no?
Oo. Impressive,
Pero may gusto akong i-pursue, no? Kasi naging bisita natin si Kong Remulla the last time, Congressman Barzaga. At ang sinasabi niya, ang Cavite raw ay, ang mananalo daw dyan, majority daw ay maka-BBM, no? Pag pinag-uusapan ng Cavite. Kayo ba, sa pananaw ninyo, sinong presidential candidate ang malakas dyan sa Cavite?
Well, insofar as I am concerned, considering that I am the president of the National Unity Party, sa Pebrero pa kami magme-meet. And we will decide who shall be our standard bearer for president. Fortunately or unfortunately, no member of our political party is running for a national position.
Yes.
And therefore, we are not being compelled the dictates of the party to follow our own candidate coming from the party kasi wala naman kaming kapartido.
Sa pananaw po ninyo, Kong, malakas po ba dyan si BBM sa Cavite?
Alam mo, mahirap ako magsabi ng aking personal opinion. When it comes to election, pinag-aaralan ko muna, nagpapasurvey ako para tama naman ang maging statement ko sa ating mga kaibigan sa media. Because I will be always quoted. Sinabi ni Kong Pidi, malakas si BBM sa Dasmariñas. Ang ibig bang sabihin, Kong Pidi is already supporting BBM. Laging ganun kaya we just stick to the local issues.
Sa last na pinasurvey po ninyo, Kong Pidi, sino hong malakas?
Well, hindi pa ako nagpapasurvey.
Hindi pa kayo nagpapasurvey.
Magpapasurvey pa lang. Oh.
Okay. Sige, partner Chiqui.
Oo. Actually, break muna tayo. Papahingahin natin si Kong. Ano sa tingin mo, partner J?
Pahinga muna. Sige.
Oo.
We'll just pause for a short break. Mga kaibigan, when we return, we find out where our candidates stand on certain issues. You're still watching All Politics is Local. We'll be right back.
Mga satellite, mahigit 3 months na ba kayong hindi nakapag-load? Oras na para ibalik ang saya sa Satellite TV. Mag-load lang ng kahit anong amount hanggang March 31, 2022. And get your next load for free. Sulit ang pagbabalik ng masayang pananood sa dami ng channels na pwedeng subaybayan. Kaya ano pang hinihintay mo? Punta na sa suking retailer at magpa-load na.
Mama's here!
Do what you want, do what you have to do. Don't listen to a word they say. Don't let nobody hold you down. Pack your things, walk out the door. You can be so much more. What you gonna do with your life? Hey, hey.
Girl!
On-the-go awesome viewing experience ba ang hanap mo? I-link ang inyong Cignal prepaid or postpaid subscription to Cignal Play today and get the best of both worlds. Panoorin ang inyong favorite channels, shows, and more anytime, anywhere. #tara sa Cignal Play.
The Phoenix Suns want to secure their top spot in the West, while the Dallas Mavericks are willing to go all out to beat them. The rivalry in the West gets tougher. This Friday at 8:30 a.m. on One Sports. We're always a fan of rivalries.
Welcome back. You're still watching All Politics is Local. Still with us is Cavite 4th District Representative and re-electionist Elpidio Pidi Barzaga Jr. Kong, lightning round na po tayo. Ito po yung aming bahagi ng show where we ask candidates about their stand on certain issues. Simple lamang po, pro ba kayo or anti? Ang una ko pong issue na i-raise sa inyo ay mandatory vaccination. Are you pro or anti?
Actually, I am pro. And let me explain. As early as last year, I filed House Bill number 9252, which requires for mandatory vaccination subject to certain exceptions. Unfortunately, for no reason at all, it was never heard, even in the committee level. Kasi noon, ini-interview na ako, sinasabi ko na, kinakailangan maging mandatory na ang vaccination. Otherwise, those who will be not vaccinated, they will be considered social outcasts. They will be discriminated upon. At yun na ang nangyayari. We are living in a community. Totoo that we have the right of choice. We have the right to select. But unfortunately, there are cases wherein we have to sacrifice some of our individual rights for the general welfare of our people. Kaya nga ang nangyayari dyan, if they choose not to be vaccinated, then there are certain repercussions. Hindi sila papapasukin sa mga restaurant, hindi sila papapasukin sa mga mall. Katulad ngayon, hindi sila papasakayin sa mga bus, hindi sila papapasukin sa public parks. Kasi sa restaurant na lamang, very basic. Sa restaurant, minsan meron silang dress code. Those who are wearing shorts or slippers shall not be permitted entry in this restaurant. And in that particular case, hindi nila pwedeng sabihin, it has been a violation of our right to choose the restaurant where we have to eat. Reasonable regulations can always be made. Yun lang naman ang ating pinapaliwanag. Pag sinasabi nila in violation of the religion, then we exempt those whose tenets or principles of religion prohibit vaccination in their respective bodies. Igagalang naman natin yan. But doon naman sa walang dahilan na ayaw ko lamang because of my right of choice, siguro meron din namang right of choice ang ating mga kababayan to live safely, not to be contaminated by the coronavirus, by having contact with those people who are not vaccinated. Di ba? So in this particular case, we have to balance the right of choice of one individual or one group of individual against the welfare of the majority of the citizens. At ang lagi nga nating sinasabi, when it comes to a democratic form of government, the rule of the majority will always prevail. Unanimity is not possible in a democracy.
Okay.
Malinaw. Partner Jay, tsaka Kong, ito, I'm sure ang mga kapatid natin na mahilig mag-antabay sa news, no? They've seen this as of late in the headlines. Marcos disqualification case. Pro po ba kayo or anti?
Well, that is sinasabi naming mga abogado na yan ay sub judice. So, therefore, we leave it to the courts to decide. However, I would like to emphasize one thing regarding the legal effect. If BBM would be disqualified before June 30, 2022, before he assumed office, even if he was a runaway winner under the present provisions of the law, the second largest number of votes will be declared as president. Mm-hmm. That is, if the disqualification became final and executory before June 30, 2022, before he assumed office. On the other hand, if the disqualification becomes final and executory after June 30, meaning to say that BBM has already assumed the office of the presidency under the Constitution, it will be the Vice President who shall assume office as President.
Okay.
Okay.
And then about this, you can even ask James Jimenez if my position is correct.
Sige. partner.
Yung partner, yung tinanong natin last time kay Kong Remulla, no? Itong ABS-CBN franchise renewal. Pro or anti po ba kayo? And just straight up, si partner Jay asked si Kong Remulla last time, no, na gusto nyo bang ibalik yung ABS-CBN or hindi? Pabor ba kayo na kung sakali ibalik ang ABS-CBN or hindi?
Alam mo naman, sa lahat ng bagay dito sa mundong ibabaw, there is always a motion for reconsideration. Yung mga nakakagalit na mag-asawa, kung yung lalaki ang may kasalanan, humihingi ng reconsideration sa kanyang misis. So in other words, even in the Supreme Court, we entertain motion for reconsideration. And therefore, if there will be a new application, then that will be the time that we have to decide the merits. Hindi naman pwede forever yes ka or forever no ka sa isang issue. Time is changing. There will be always a change of events which might warrant a reversal of your previous position. Hindi ba? Nothing is permanent in this board, including your stand regarding the franchise of ABS-CBN. That is at least that is my position. That is a way. That is the way I handle my problems in the city. Nagkakamali ang aking mga empleyado. Pag sinabi, boss, pasensya na, nagkamali ako, I admitted it. Pwede ba i-consider mo ako? Ito lang naman tayo.
Next issue, Kong Pidi, ito. Pro ba kayo or anti-charter change?
Well, of course, I am in favor of charter change. Because there are so many provisions in the Constitution which has to be changed. Number one, yung political system natin. Right now, we have a multi-party system. In other words, kahit 10 ang kandidato sa pagka-presidente o sa tingin ng COMELEC may capacity to win, yung 10 yan maglalaban-laban. And in a multi-party system, we never get the majority of the will of the people. Laging ang nananalong presidente, 44%, batas na yung 44%, batas na yung 38%. Ngayon, kung itutuloy natin itong multi-party system, we have to amend the Constitution. The amendment may be either one. There must be a runoff election. Meaning to say, yung number 1 at number 2, sila ang maglalaban sa runoff election, and therefore the winner in that runoff election will always have the support of the majority. Or kung gusto nating wala na ang runoff election, gawin na lang nating two-party system like the party system which we have prior to 1973. Hindi ba? Kasi it's very hard to rule if you do not have the support of the majority. It's very hard because no president can succeed without the support of all the sectors of the people.
Kung ngayon, singit ko lang very quickly, no? Ngayon nasa panahon tayo ng pandemya, just 2 items, no? Yung subsidized or free RT-PCR testing at yung allowance para po sa senior citizens. Pabor po ba kayo o hindi?
Well, of course, yung free RT-PCR, ginagawa na namin yan sa city government of Dasmariñas. Libre. Kasi nakaka-recover naman kami sa PhilHealth. Kung wala naman PhilHealth, ine-enroll namin, nagbabayad kami ng 300 pesos. Although ang next question, mababayaran ba ng PhilHealth? Well, I think they will be paying. Sa senior citizens, of course, kinikilala namin ng senior citizen. Okay na lang na magbigay tayo ng subsidy sa senior citizens. Pero tinitingnan namin, hindi lamang ang senior citizens. What about the persons with disability na hindi makapagtrabaho because of their disabilities, although they are not senior citizens? And we have another category, the so-called single parent na walang asawa na siyang nagsusuporta sa kanilang mga anak. These are the 3 groups na tinutulungan namin dito sa lungsod ng Dasmariñas. At kung minsan, kung may pondo pa, isasama pa natin yung 40s. Yung mga may hirap. Kasi sa totoo, marami tayong mga kababayan na kinakailangan na talaga ang tulong ng ating pamahalaan. Kaya okay lang sa akin yung support na yan as long as we have the necessary funding.
Alright, last issue po, Kong Pidi. Ito namang mga political candidates refusing to join debates. Kayo po ba pro or anti?
Well, how do we determine kung ano ang plataforma ng isang kandidato? Especially if he or she is seeking the highest position in the land, kung hindi siya makikipag-debate. Sa katunayan, hindi lamang debate dapat pati media nakakapagtanong para malaman natin kung hanggang anong lalim ang kanyang programa at ito ba kanyang programa, are they doable? Because you can promise everything, but the question is, can you do it if you will be elected as president? Di ba?
Paano mo isasagawa yan, di ba?
Yes, that is the most important.
Alright. Naku, kailangan ulit nating mag-gap, partner. Just pause for a short break. Stay tuned for our challenge. We're still watching All Politics is Local. We'll be right back.
On-the-go awesome viewing experience ba ang hanap mo? I-link ang inyong Cignal prepaid or postpaid subscription to Cignal Play today and get the best of both worlds. Panoorin ang inyong favorite channels, shows, and more anytime, anywhere. #tara sa Cignal Play.
I thought you were in prison for life.
I work for the government.
Post office?
You think they'd let me out of prison to deliver mail?
I don't know.
I kill people for them, okay?
This task force doesn't officially exist, which leaves us on our own.
Why is there a ball legal in your car?
It's my sidekick.
2 jerks in costumes and a couple of rejects.
It's like a real team out there.
Life is full of colors.
Nakauwi ka na pala. Hindi ba ang usapan magkakarap ka ng trabaho sa Hong Kong?
Wala po akong nakuha Saka hindi ko rin naman kaya iwan tong Papa Bread.
But sometimes...
yung ino, magparamdam ba?
Colors fade unexpectedly.
Hindi na ako marunong magpinta.
Didiktahan kita! Didiktahan tayo,
It's not just about the colors, Kara. Paano ako magpipinta kung ayaw na nito?
Welcome back to year 2013!
Kaya pala mo yung cabinet ka?
Hindi kahit amuin mo pa,
Clara Kadire! May laway!
Inumin na kita, ha?
Love is colorblind. Now streaming.
Welcome back. You're still watching All Politics is Local. With us, Cavite 4th District Representative and re-electionist Elpidio Barzaga Jr. At kung napawisan po kayo sa ating lightning round nga na tinatawag, ay patikim lang po yun dahil ito ang ultimate challenge. Yan. Tampok na tampok ang Paru-Paro Festival ng Dasmariñas City, hindi po ba? So, ito ay ginugunita tuwing Nobyembre at naging simbolo ng transformation ng Dasmariñas through the years. Wow, beautiful. So, sa ating challenge po ngayong gabi, magbibigay tayo ng mga pangalan at itutukoy nyo kung ano sa tingin nyo ang stage ng transformation ng taong yon. So, quick biology lesson lang po mga kapatid at Kong at partner Jay, no? May 4 kasi na life stages itong butterfly. Yung pinakauna, pinakamaliit, yung itlog lang, egg siya. So first stage 'yon. Pangalawa, yung larva. So medyo nag-develop na, medyo mukhang uod na. Yung pangatlo, pupa. Yun yung nakabalot. Hindi po ba mga kapatid? Tapos yung last, syempre, gumanda na siya, naging butterfly. So yun. So aling stage Kong, no? So again, egg, larva, pupa, and then finally, nag-bloom na into a butterfly. So, eto, simulan po natin sa lumalaban sa inyo sa pagiging district representative, ang independent candidate na si Osmundo Katupad. Saang stage po siya sa nitong butterfly? Egg, larva, pupa, or butterfly na siya?
Well, actually, lahat naman ng nakakalaban ko sa politika, I consider them as butterfly. We don't want to underestimate any of our opponents. Kaya I will consider him as a butterfly, full stage.
Okay.
Gracious, grabe.
Presidential
Partner.
candidate BBM, Bongbong Marcos. Anong stage?
Palagi ko, hindi pa butterfly. So far as his performance and accomplishment is concerned.
Ano siya? Egg, larva,
Baka
pupa,
naman sa third stage, pupa.
So,
pupa.
pupa. Nakabalot
Because
pa.
he has been a former governor, a former congressman, a former senator. He has the experience of being a public servant.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Partner.
Yung anak nyo po, Kiko Barzaga po, na tumatakbong counselor. Ayan. Kasi syempre, kung ano yung judgment ng tatay, very important yun sa isang anak. O, ano po?
Ang ating problema riyan, insofar as judgment being made by me in favor of my children or my wife, I will not be an impartial judge. I will be always partial. Pero sa tingin ko, Kiko is just starting politics. Although he has developed a lot, he knows what is public service, and he was very visible during the pandemic. Pwede ko nang ilagay din yan sa third stage.
Piu pa rin.
Malapit-lapit na.
Dasmariñas, please support me.
Malapit na maging mahinog, ha? Partner.
Oo.
Okay. Eto, isa pang malapit ito kay Kong Pidi. Dasmariñas Mayor Jenny, Austria, Barzaga.
Well, she happens to be the Speaker of the House.
Mhm.
The Speaker in our house. Ayan, butterfly yan. And she has already a vast experience in public service. She was a mayor for 9 years before, then a congresswoman for 3 years, and now serving her another term for mayor. At nakatulong yung kanyang background as a nurse in addressing the COVID problem in our city.
Mm-hmm. O, na-bring up na ni Partner Jay, si BBM. Very quickly, yung ibang presidential candidates naman. Start tayo dun kay Lenny, VP Lenny. Tapos si Isko, tapos si Senator Ping Lacson. Saan po sila? Egg, larva, pupa, or butterfly na?
Mukhang puro
Isahin po natin.
Butterfly, katulad ng
Puro butterfly.
si Ping Lacson. Talagang hinog na hinog yan sa pagkapangulo. Hindi ba? Based on his experience, based on his advocacy, and based on his track record.
Eto, si Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Anong stage siya?
Maganda.
Malaking butterfly na yan.
Malaking butterfly.
Magandang tanong.
Malaking butterfly, ano?
Oo. Yung ano naman, yung kanina we were talking about Dasmariñas City na university capital nga of Cavite, and we talked in depth about it, no? Dasmariñas City, sang stage po sa pagka-butterfly? Egg, larva, pupa, or the butterfly itself?
Many of my constituents will be saying na butterfly na kami because of the development which happened in our city.
Okay. And lastly po siguro, Kong PD, kinakailangan namin kayong tanungin. Kayo ho ba? Anong butterfly ho ba kayo? Pupa? Paano nyo hilalarawan ang sarili niyo?
Butterfly who is already in his twilight of his career, of his life in this world.
Ika nga nung executive producer namin, Kong PD, Mariposa.
Ay, wala. Medyo hindi naman ako mahilig mag-post. Pero okay naman ako. Lagi ko namang ina-admit eh. Kasi talaga namang we know that our life in this earth is only temporary. Especially in our case na medyo may edad na. Tapos ang dami ko pang comorbidities. But I have been always saying that life is too short in this world. And as public official, we have to make the most of it.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Thank you for joining us in this episode. Cavite 4th District Representative and Reelectionist Elpidio Pidi Barzaga Jr.
Yes, we've asked the questions and gotten to know your candidates a little bit better. Dasmariñas City, you decide. I'm Chiqui Vergel.
And I'm Jay Taruc. Join us again tomorrow for another episode of
All Politics is Local.
I'm Trisha Robredo. I graduated from Ateneo in 2014 and I was courtside reporter for the National University Bulldogs in season 76 and 77. I've always been a fan of the UAAP, but I never thought of auditioning